Hello and welcome to Living with Favor, where we talk about faith, abundance, vitality, overflow, and relationships. I'm Lisa Mosbey, the host of Living with Favor. Thank you so much for tuning in and letting me offer a bit of advice with my expert guests. This week we are getting off the couch and into the end zone. It's February. We just had the Super Bowl, so why not get into the end zone? We're getting into the end zone with my expert guest, Ashly Torian. Ashly is a vitality coach. She is the vitality coach, speaker, and author of Join Me in the End Zone. She has a lifelong focus, education, and experience on understanding the psychology of eating, on human physiology, emotional resolution, the mind-body connection, and how your outlook on these factors can either damage or enhance your life. Ashly works with those who desire to set themselves free from the pain and struggle they experience by addressing the soul, the mind, heart, and emotions through her three-brain approach. Ashly created the Armor Up program where people find balance, peace, and freedom to live their heart's desires with energy and vibrant health. This is done through coaching programs, weekend workshops, and live retreats in the beautiful Red River Valley. Welcome, Ashly. Come on in. I'm so glad that you can be with us today.
Me too. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'm eager to get into the end zone with you and talk about those the three keys to lose the weight and reclaim our life. Ashly's book, like I said, it's called END, E-N-D. So those are, and it's an acronym, just like Living with Favor, and it's about the diet drama that we have often experienced. I dare say many of us on this that are watching have probably gone through some sort of a diet drama in our life. But before we get into that, I do want to go there. That's where we're headed. But what caused you to write your book? Can you share kind of a little bit of background about how you got into, this field and why you decided to share your thoughts and experiences through a book?
Yeah. So it was through the encouragement of my dad. And he is amazing in this way, in that he knew what my journey had been. And he was like, people need to hear this. People need to hear what your technique is and how you got out of it. And so that really did just kind of spur me into really thinking and letting it percolate of, okay, what would this book, how would it look? And I was a gymnast, trackster. I loved the body. I still love the body. The way it moves, the way it runs, leaps, jumps, plays. I'm fascinated by how it operates. And so when in college, I was a fashion merchandising major at first. And because I wanted, I love the clothes that adorn the body. However, I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't bringing enthusiasm to me. And so I changed my major to a fitness. Adult corporate fitness was what they had at Abilene Christian University. It was the closest thing I could get to, but other than PE. Wasn't going to do PE. So adult corporate fitness it was. I could study exercise phys, kinesiology, and just really get into that. And I'm glad that I did all of that, because what I went through was all around the body dysmorphia, body hate, not feeling good enough in my own skin, always feeling like I just was too heavy or too big, or, it was just that dysmorphia thing. And, there's a lot of pain when we don't like our body. There is a lot of pain inside of a woman. I know
Yeah,
for sure. Men, I'm sure now, I think men are starting to feel this a little bit,
yeah.
but we women, it has been since the dawn of creation that we have not been satisfied with our physical form. And somebody else's is always better, or gosh, I wish I looked like that. And
Yeah.
all of that created such a cesspool of muck within me that I had lots of anxiety. I was a worrywart growing up. And then through college and after college, it just full blown anxiety hit me. And eventually it led to this point of where I was afraid to eat and just terrified that if I ate, I would die. And so I got to about 10 foods that I felt safe eating, like I wouldn't die, and ice cream was one of them. I swear ice cream saved my life. I swear it
Wow.
did. I ate it every night in order to bring about the childhood memory of eating ice cream and how warm it made me, how comfortable and how safe I felt eating it, because it was inundated with family memories of togetherness and support and love. And so that's what I ate, and I swear it kept me alive. I probably would have cannibalized to death if I had not had the fat from the ice cream, right?
That's interesting, Ashley. You know what? My mom is with me. She has going through some health challenges and stuff, and was very, very thin. And the doctor's like, "You need to get her to put on weight. You need to get her to put on weight." And my dad passed, in September, and he loved ice cream every night, but she wasn't so much into it. So I said, "You know what? Let's honor dad. We'll have a bowl of ice cream." Unfortunately, I've been doing this with her, so I need to stop that. But we went to the doctor yesterday, and she's up to 115 pounds, and we were under 100 pounds. So it's like, but they're like, more than that, her vibrancy. Like, she wasn't walking on her own. Now she can walk behind the wheelchair and push it a little bit. And like, she has so much more energy. And I never even made the correlation that it could be like the mental, the emotional piece of the ice cream, and my dad sitting in his chair having his ice cream, and now she's sitting in the chair having the ice cream every night. I try not to do it every night with her, but I started it with her. It was like, whoa, we got to cut this off really fast. I don't need to gain any extra weight. But thank you for sharing that short story. You just kind of like connected it for me
I
on,
love that.
the mind, the body, the nourishing. One of the words, I don't want to give away the secrets of the book, but there's an N in the middle of end zone, and that's nourish. It stands for nourish in your book. And it was like, that's the nourishing. Like, we're nourishing the mind, we're nourishing the soul, we're nourishing, the thoughts and the emotions and the body at the same time. I read your mission statement. It says, Ashley inspires and encourages you to draw out the strength and courage it takes to nourish the body, soul, and spirit in accordance with your life's purpose. When you say draw out, you're telling us that you inspire us to draw it out. Like, you don't do the work to draw it out. We get to draw it out. That is a completely different perspective than many coaches that I've interviewed or talked to. So I want you to share a little bit more about what does that mean to you? How do you encourage and inspire folks to draw out that strength for them to keep going and make a change?
Oh, I love that. No one has ever asked me this, Lisa. That was insightful of you. That was awesome.
Oh,
So when I was in the muck of it, I kept looking for the key to be outside of me. I kept, will this save me? Will this save me? Will this heal me? Will this do this? And really what it was I was already equipped within me to do this work. I was. Through all the pain, all the fear, it was there. I just had to find that peace within me. And the peace is not only the PIECE, but it was the PEACE. So I firmly believe that we are all given a state of operation that helps bring homeostasis to our very presence, our very being. And, for some people it's love. Some people, I've had one girl, hers was magic. And another person's could be trust or truth, faith. People, we're all different, but I believe that peace was knit within me. And so the anxiety was completely opposite of that peace. The fear was completely opposite of it. But if I could tap into what it is that I know was already within me, if I could learn how to do that, then it would begin to heal everything else that was going wrong. And it was true. Once I found the peace,
yeah.
that peace within me, and I learned how to tap into it, everything else started. All the tools, I could use them and not be in fear for my life the entire time, right? Because it's our state of operation that does the healing. And so if I am in fear while I'm eating, I'm going to create more drama within my body. But if I can get myself centered into peace through my breath, through visualizing the peace and how it feels in my body and how that magnetizes out, and if I can get to that place and then go and eat, totally different experience. So I had to find within myself first
Mhm.
before I could ever heal the fear.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had some chaos in my life, and somebody said, you need to find your peace. And so I know exactly what, for me, what that felt like when I had to find that peace, whether it's prayer or meditation. I kind of tend towards prayer. I find peace and it can calm my system down by just cracking open that Bible and finding something to read. For me, faith is a big part of that, is knowing that I'm not alone and that there's something greater than I am, and that I'm here for a purpose. There's something that I'm here to do. And when I read that in your mission statement, it's like all with your purpose, like finding and diving into your purpose. When we know what that is, I think it gives us a sense of peace. Otherwise, it feels like chaos all the time. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know who I'm supposed to serve. And you're kind of running around frantically in your own mind, trying to figure that out. Another one that I saw on your site was a quote, and it says, "Weight is the screen that prevents us from looking within for the whisper of who we truly are." Woo! Tell me more about that one.
Yeah. So it's real fun because this quote came to me when I was talking with a client about her granddaughter that was experiencing body dysmorphia. And it just dawned on me at how, at a young age like that, how we begin to witness ourselves and our life through what our body image is and through where our weight is. And that prevents you from showing up fully at who you are and who you're meant to be, your heart song. We can't show up authentically from our heart when we are so inundated with thoughts around our weight and what the scale says, what we feel we look like. It prevents us from showing up. And no one ever knows us. No one knows who we really are because we're hiding behind that weight, and we're thinking that that's who we are when it's not, right? And I believe it starts when we're really young, when we're inundated with all that social stuff.
Yeah.
Social pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be
Are
that
you
kid.
familiar with the Louise Hay, the Heal Your Body books by Louise Hay?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. In there, she talks about overweight and kind of what's the mindset of that is weight is protection. Like it's keeping the world away and pushing people away from us. And so people, not only is it not allowing us to show up as who we are, it's also not allowing people to enter into that space to actually have a relationship and connect deeply with somebody else, because we're constantly, we're putting up these walls of protection around us by carrying that excess weight and not allowing our inner beauty to come out. And where
Amen.
does that come from? We talk about how we get judged or criticized by other people, but for me, what I'm hearing and how I'm interpreting this is it's the inner judgment. It's that voice inside my head that's judging me when I'm standing in front of the mirror and going, "Oh, you got a little extra here, and you need, oh my gosh, and you need to fix this, and you need to go on a diet," or that it's in there, it's in my head saying those things to me, or it used to be. It's a lot less now than it was when I was in, those teenage years or those 20s. Uh, yeah, yeah. I grabbed another, it's all about your website. I have to encourage folks to go check out her website. There is so much information, so many different tools. We'll get into that after we talk about the book. But we're on to something with this weight. And I grabbed one of the shocking statements, shocking data from your website. It says at any given time, over 100 million Americans are on diets. Most dieters typically make 4 to 5 attempts a year to lose weight on these of these habitual dieters. 85% are women. Wow. I mean, talk about a lot of pressure, and we're trying 4 to 5 times a year to lose the weight. Let's stop. Let's just get off the hamster wheel and stop. Why do we struggle so much with our weight? Have you been able to pin it down to something? Like, is there something that's happening within us or society that's causing this to happen? And like, literally, how do we stop? How do we just stop the insanity?
Yeah. This is all about our state of operation. So we are living in fast, crazy, busy. People use these words all the time. I don't have time. My schedule's too full. All of those stress language is creating stress within the body. So we go on the diet to lose the weight, and we actually end up cannibalizing because you're under stress. You're under the pressure to lose the weight. You got to get that body before the reunion, whatever it is. And your body can't mobilize fat when it's stressed. It doesn't happen. It mobilizes lean tissue for energy, because as long as we're in that stress state, whether it's a level 1 or a level 10, you are going to be using up your lean tissue for your energy that day. You're not going to be mobilizing glycogen stores. You're not going to be mobilizing fat. You don't. And so what the program does, the E.N.D part, the embrace, nourish, and digest, what it does is it teaches you how your body actually functions. And I don't believe people really understand what this miracle piece does for them. And it works hard for you. And so when we understand how our body reacts to different things in our life, we can begin to change that reaction to more of response, lower our stress level so that our body loses the fat, mobilizes the fat for energy, and it doesn't come back, because you've mastered the mind, you've mastered the stress that's in your life, and you are living for your higher purpose, and what I call now the heart song, right? So that heart song is your leader. It is what fuels you and brings life to you every single day. And when we live according to that, that is in your mind, that feeling, that awareness of it, you're not going to want to go and eat the Snickers bar at 3 o'clock. You're going to go, wait a minute, my body doesn't need fuel between 2 and 5. So I'm not going to eat between 2 and 5, because I am fueled for something greater than myself. So it's all around just understanding how we work with the sun, the circadian rhythm, how our body works inside a relaxed state of being, what's happening with the digestive system at any given time. It's just, when you put all these things together, it's like, well, good grief. If we all learned this in school when we were growing up, there is no way we would have an obese society today. No way.
We don't get to talk about our emotions. We just stuff them, they're like, ooh, yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about them. You let the cat out of the bag. E.N.D. Embrace is number one. Tell us about embrace.
Yeah, so we embrace the wonder of our beautiful body. Let's get out of the body dysmorphia, the body hate. Let's just stop. And let's begin to love our body for all that it does for us, right? Our body is that miracle machine. Our body-mind complex works together in our favor when we don't see it as the enemy. And so it's really about just loving that, elevating your own love for your body. Mm-hmm.
One of the easiest ways to do that and I don't know where this came from. It was somebody, it was not my idea, looking in the mirror every morning and saying, I love you. Or if you can't say it, I'm surprised at how many people cannot say that to themselves when they're looking in the mirror. Put a Post-it note on it so that you're reading the Post-it note. You don't have to make eye contact. The goal is to get to the point where you can make eye contact with your face in the mirror and say, I love you, Lisa. You're amazing, outstanding, extraordinary. You can change the world, whatever it is for you. Obviously, I've been practicing on this, so the words come a little easier for me. But how do we move people into that to start loving their body, besides my simple little trick of looking at yourself in the mirror every day?
So the mirror is part of the equation of what I do, but the very first step is you write a letter from your body to you.
Ooh.
When you really get quiet and you listen to what your body has been crying out for you to know, and you write it down and you read it, you begin to have compassion for your body. Then that makes that step of going to the mirror and going, I love you, so much easier, because you just heard the cry for help. And we're compassionate beings. We are. We don't really hate ourselves. We love ourselves. Truly. We're just too afraid to love ourselves. And so when you hear that message, that cry from your physical form, going, what are you doing to me? I'm here trying to let you have fun in your life, and you're just beating me up and feeding me foods that just make me feel yucky. And, it's just, when you hear that cry, it's like, oh my God, what have I been doing?
Yeah.
And then you can go to the mirror and go, oh my gosh, I love you. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry, and it totally changes everything. Totally changes everything.
Yeah. Well, my Be Well group, I think I mentioned to you, I do a workshop on Saturday mornings, and yeah, they'll be doing the letter. That's going to be on the homework roster. So
Right.
we're gonna do that one. Thank you for sharing that with our audience. The N is nourish. Nourish it with wholesome foods and beneficial movement. give us some tips on nourishing.
Yeah, yeah. So it's about nourishing your body not only with food and drink, but your life experiences and everything around it. We'll get into digest of those life experiences, but it's like we nourish our body with so much more than just food and drink. When people think of nourishment, they think it's the food, it's what I'm drinking. It's like, nah, it's only part of the equation. You've got to nourish it with thoughts of love, right? Everything that you love should be going through your mind, nothing that you dislike, right? If you don't want something, don't even think about it. Only think about what you love and bring that in as nourishment. And when we have nourishing thoughts, we begin to nourish our body on that soulful level. And then we begin choosing foods that nourish us versus if we're all in the thoughts of what we don't want, then we're going to choose foods that don't nourish us right properly because we want to feel comforted by the threat of those thoughts. The body's amazing. It feels threatened, by golly, I want ice cream.
Yeah.
If it doesn't feel threatened, if it feels like, oh my gosh, we've got this, life is so much fun, then it goes for the apple.
Yeah.
You know,
Because it wants more of that energy. It wants more of I need what it takes for me to fulfill my purpose, to keep living, to enjoy my life, rather than I'm going to sit on the couch and protect. And yeah, I totally get it. I get
you
it.
want to feel that
Exactly.
energy. You want to feel the, you know, and the ice cream
Vibrancy.
could make you feel lethargic if it's done too much. But
Yeah.
then the apple, you feel that energy. It's like, oh yeah, I'm ready for my next task today. I can get on the phone and make that call I've been putting off, or I can finally wear those jeans that I have been loving because I'm making those choices that nourish me versus the choices that don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the nourishment piece is really huge because it starts getting into the thoughts and how you're really nourishing yourself.
I think of live food versus dead food. For me, when a big raw salad, or a salad that just has vinegar and oil on it, kind of thing. It's fresh. It's from the ground. There's a farm that's not far from me, so I pick fresh strawberries and fresh blueberries, and that's kind of the fruit that I do because I get to go pick it. But they have all the lettuces and beets and all of their root vegetables, and I live in Florida, so I have access to that year round fresh food that I get to go pick. When I lived in Nevada, I had my own garden beds and grew a large percentage of my own food. So I think when I think of that, alive food, I think of it being fresh, right from the ground to your table, not sitting on a shelf or not in a can or bag or box, or, what I'm going to call dead food. Like, are there any enzymes left in that? Is there, what kind of energy is left to give my body energy? So where do we get our energy from when we're eating so that we have that nourishment to be able to go out and live a vibrant life? So
Right.
thank you for that. Yeah, digest. You said digest experiences, not just digest your food. What's the lowdown around digesting your experiences? Why is that beneficial to the body?
Yeah. So when we learn how to emotionally resolve experiences that keep us in a stress response, you learn how to emotionally resolve, you're learning how to digest
Yeah.
those emotions. So do you remember when you were a kid and you felt a certain way, but you couldn't express it and it just felt like it was just bubbling up on the inside and you suppressed it. And then later in life, you could have been in a similar experience and all of a sudden it just erupts out of you and you think, wait, where did this come from? Well, that's just stored emotions in us that we did not digest. And so we learn how to digest our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions in the moment. We can begin cleaning that out of the body. And it's interesting because you do begin to digest not only your experiences really well, but you begin to digest your food even better. Right. So our gut brain is this live living brain within us. And when we learn how to work with the gut brain, which the gut brain is really interesting because it wants to be the only one on stage, right? When it's time to eat, the gut brain is like, okay, I am here. Everybody else needs to go away because it is time to go to work. Well, when you have these thoughts that are real messy while you're eating, then you're in a stress response and the gut brain goes, oh, I'm not the center of attention. I'm going to sleep then, right? So it pouts and it goes to sleep while you're eating this food, and your food's going down into your tummy and it's not getting digested because the gut brain is sleeping. It's mad at you because you were thinking of something else that was stressing you out and it wasn't the show, right?
Or watching TV.
or watching TV, looking at your cell phone, scrolling through social media while you're eating, anything. If you eat and do something else, think something else, then you're in a state of stress and your gut brain is a little ticked off at you and goes to sleep. It just gets bored of whatever drama you've brought into your senses. And so I think it's really fun to work with the gut brain in order to help you digest everything in your life, not just the food, but everything. It's just, yeah, gut brain's fun. That's the fun.
Creating better habits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Creating better habits about how how you're going to eat your food or how you're going to nourish your body. Another one that came to mind for nourish is hiking. For me, part of my nourishment is I have to get outside. I have to have sun on my body every single day. And if there is no sun outside, my mood is definitely affected by that. Not that I have, seasonal affective disorder, but yeah, it's just part of nourishment is to be able to go to walk around the block. And, for me, it's usually walking around the block with my hands up. My neighbors probably think I'm, very unique. To walk around, take it all in. It's like, oh my gosh, this is my life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, so but going for a hike, I had mentioned to you earlier, I went to Machu Picchu and just like sitting on the ground in the Andes Mountains and just taking it in, the breathtaking views. Like it was so overwhelming. Tears could just run down my face, just going, wow, this is my life. And I was blessed to be able to do this. It's been on my bucket list for 20 plus years to do something like that. And I'm sure we all have those things. Oh, I'll get to it someday. But nourishment is not scheduling those experiences now. Like, don't wait till someday. Figure out a way. I, did some small jobs, odd jobs, and figured out how to pay for it. I had it paid for back in September, and I just went here in February. So, like, for a long time, I had it paid for. I knew I was going. It brought so much joy and excitement, enthusiasm, and like, couldn't wait to go. Something to have on your plate to look forward to. For me, that nourishes my sense of play, that childlike joy inside of me. So I always try to have something scheduled that I have to look forward to. And part of that is the nourishing of the mind and the body and the spirit. And then when you're in that experience, how do you digest it? So that's the picture that you created as you're describing. So thank you for that. I embrace that.
You're welcome. Yes. So fun.
On your website, you talk about lots of, or you don't talk about it, but you have different tools. I went through a lot of the different places on your website, and you have online courses, one-to-one coaching, there's retreats, there's corporate programs, and then of course the easiest point of entry, in my opinion, is a book. I try to read 1 to 2 books a month and or listen to. And so the book is the easiest one. It's inexpensive. It's a way for people to really get to know you and how you serve them, and gives them some exposure to some tools and things that they can start using right away. Ideas from that book will get them started. But can you share a little bit about how do you work? How, we've talked a lot about what the struggles are, and then the E.N.D, how we, embrace, nourish, and digest. But how do people get started? Because I think sometimes I know for me, when there's so much information out there and there's so many people talking at you saying, we're the right, this is the solution. It gets to be overwhelming and we choose to do nothing. People are going back to your statistics. People are, 4 to 5 times a month, they're trying to lose weight. Like they're on it, they're off it, they're back and they're forth. What's the process? Like step one, what's the next step? Can you give some insight into that, whether it's with you or somebody else? How do we take away some of the fear, the anxiety, and help people to move forward on this wellness journey?
Wow, that's really beautiful. First step for yourself is just awareness that where you are right now is okay. That's the first step. You are supposed to be in the place where you are right now, physically, health-wise, weight, everything. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. So when we can trust in that and go, okay, I'm okay. I am okay. This is teaching me something. I'm here for a reason. What can I learn from this about myself? Learn that and then take that step and educate yourself on what is out there and what resonates with you. Just because your best girlfriend did a program and she loved it and thrived in it doesn't mean it's going to be for you. We are all individuals. And so we need to find what kind of eating experience we want for ourselves in our life. The beautiful thing about working with me I do have to say is I will never tell you what you cannot eat. I am not going to put you on a specific diet, a specific program. Guess who does that? You do. But you find your own eating protocol. So in like the Vibrant Body program that I've created, in that I teach you how to meal plan, meal prep, meal make. And in that, inside of all of that, it's around you discovering the kind of foods that you want to nourish you. So if you're going from a junk food kind of living or fast food kind of living, that's okay. We start there and we use the mind body nutrition tools to get you present with the food that you're eating right now. And did you know that in the first month that I worked with someone and they use the mind body nutrition tools and we don't change anything about their diet, nothing. I don't change their diet. I change who they are with food. They begin to change that through the steps that I give them. They lose 5 to 7 pounds the first month without ever even changing their food because they've changed their presence. And so when we get there, and then it's like the foods just morph on themselves, right? It's effortless to start eating in a way that is more beneficial and healthy and nourishing for your body because we do it so differently from the dieting industry out there that is, you can only have these lists of foods. You can never eat this again if you want to, whatever. I love ice cream. And no, I don't eat dairy on a regular basis anymore, but by golly, if I want a cup of ice cream, I'm going to have it. But now I know how to eat it, and I know how often my body can digest it beautifully without creating any havoc on me. So when we get to know our body mind complex and how it works with food, our relationship changes. And we realize, oh my gosh, this is really so easy. This is all I have to do. Right? So it's really fun. It's a beautiful way to change the way you are with food. It's not a diet, it's your own eating protocol. And I encourage everyone to do that. You create your own eating protocol. When I'm out, people say, so what kind of diet do you do? Are you gluten-free, dairy-free, Mediterranean? What do you do? And I go, oh, I'm on the Ashly protocol. It's mine. I developed it, I created it, and it works for me. It's mine.
Wow.
Lisa.
Every person you work with creates their own. That's the beauty of it.
That's the beauty of it. Yeah, you're not on anybody else's program, you're on yours. So
I
you
love
just
that.
yeah.
I would never think of using the word diet, and it's so easy in the same sentence, but you just did. So that gives us a clue on, it's going to be a lot easier than anything that you've ever done before. It's going to be a totally different experience, and it's not in the box. It's outside the box. It's a new experience. And we're addressing the mind, the body, and the spirit all at once. Before we wrap up, I know you're a show host on the Win Win Women TV network. And so I want to give you a chance to plug your show, Ashly's Heart Song. Tell us what it's about. I know it's going to be a lot about health and wellness, but I think there's a little bit of tweak in there with the Heart Song. People don't necessarily know what that is. I do, but can you share that with our audience before we wrap this up?
Yeah, so the Heart Song is you. It is your authentic self and what you are designed to do here in this world. And it leads you, it guides you, directs you. Like mine is the song of my heart, is to live from my heart so that I am open and free to be and share the beautiful gift of peace that God birthed within me. And so when I tune into that, oh my gosh, it up levels my whole day. I'm like, good grief. I have got a reason to be here. God created me. I have got a mission, right? To share that peace. That's why I'm here, is so that others can feel that peace themselves. And when we tune into that, the song of our hearts, we're just guided and directed. It takes away all the stress of the have tos, the need tos, the shoulds, the woulds, the coulds. It's like, no, none of that exists. You're here, you're now, and this is your purpose, right? So some people call it purpose, some people call it their aim, some people call it their mission in life, whatever it is you call it. I love the romanticism of the song of your heart, right? It's just inspiring and life-giving. And so on my show, that is what leads and directs me when I'm writing up material for the show. And I love to have guests in there that also have that same kind of flavor. Lisa has been on my show before, and it's around really just inspiring others to live their life according to their highest purpose, their highest self. And yeah, my show is every Monday at 3 p.m. Central Time on the Win-Win Women TV network. And I love people to come in for the live audience. It's so much fun to have that Q&A at the end. So I just encourage everybody, if you want to get tapped into me in a way that what I provide, so you can learn more about this Three Brains approach, then come to my show, Ashley's Heart Song, 3 p.m. on Mondays. And that's a great place to start. Then you can get in on my community, the Vibrant Soul Reboot. That's a Facebook community that I have that's free. You can get in on that and take advantage of all the materials that I share on there. And yeah, we can get to know each other. So
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, we both share in our mission statements, we both have the words inspire and encourage. I wear a ring here. It says inspire on it. It's an old spoon ring, and it was stamped with the word inspire to remind me every day. That's part of my heart song, is to inspire, encourage other people coming from a place of love to bring out, who it is that they are, to help them find their purpose. So we're so in alignment with that, which is, it's such a joy when you get to connect with people that you are in alignment with, so that together we get to bring this to the world and make a difference, make a change, make an impact. So thank you for being my guest today. I really appreciate it. And you are an expert in your field. We know that, and I'm sure everybody got that just bounced off the screen with your sharing, and how deep you can go with folks. So thank you so much for being with me today. Folks, if you could use a bit of advice to start or expand your business using social media, that's my kind of area of expertise right now. Let's discuss your business today. Connect with me online at lisamosbey.com, and you can click book time and we'll chat about your business. If you're an entrepreneur in the wellness field, that's my ideal client that I would like to work with. Also, if you would like those resources from Ashley, in the show notes, I will have her website, her LinkedIn page, Facebook page, and all the places that you can connect with her. So feel free to go into the show notes, grab a link, and definitely check out her website. There's so much information. Just reading through it will uplift you. It did me. Reading her quotes and her data and the information that's there was just a joy. So again, Ashley, thank you so much for being with me.
thank you. Thank you, Lisa. So fun to be here. Thank you.
My pleasure. And y'all come back Tuesday. We are here every Tuesday. We'd love to have a live audience. Sometimes we're just here for interviewing, but if you want to interact with my guests, join us live on winwinwomen.tv, and you'll find me every Tuesday at 9 o'clock Eastern time. Thanks again, everybody.